Welcome to the energy of October. October is a month that is full of cosmic alignments and opportunities for us to tap into. Now, we just came out of the full moon in Aries peak, which means that we have the next 2 weeks until the new moon on October 14th to utilize this energy of release and letting go. Now, Aries is all about action. And so, if we can take one small step to the direction of what our goals are, it is going to go a long way because there's momentum in the cosmos supporting us to move. And so, one thing will lead to another and another. And as we start to take those steps and we create space for more opportunities to come through. And as we're in this month, it is imperative that we bring our energy behind everything that we are doing. Now, the number 10 in numerology in Kundalini relates to the radiant body. The radiant body is at the outer edge of our aura, and it expands universally with a flow of prana emanating from our being. So prana is our life force energy, which is carried by our breath. So the more relaxed we are in our breath pattern, the more calm our body is, the more open our heart is, the more radiant and strong our prana is, which means that this prana, this energy that gets transferred from the physical body into our aura, which expands up to 9 feet in every direction, will expand even furthermore out into our radiant body and out universally. So when we have a very strong radiant body, people will unconsciously be drawn to us when we walk in a room. They won't know why. It's an energy and they feel it, and they're magnetically drawn to look in the direction of someone with a very radiant aura and radiant body. And it goes the opposite way. So that, if you think, is expansive, in the opposite polar of that is when we are contracted, we are isolated, we aren't making ourselves visible. We'll have fear of conflict, we'll have fear of recognition. And so another aspect of a strong radiant body is having courage in the face of any obstacle. And how do we have courage? We have courage when we feel fear. We recognize fear and we move beyond it and we take the step anyways. So all of this energy coming in together, the Aries, as we're entering October, this full moon in Aries, it's allowing us to look at where are we holding ourselves back from movement? Where are we stagnating our energy, stagnating ourselves physically, and to move beyond that, right? So each step that we take, the more open we become, the more expansive we become. And the step that is important is to take the aligned step. And what does that mean? Aligned means that we are coming from a state of presence in the moment, and we are acting on our guidance that we receive. And we can simply receive our guidance in the moments that we are in that stillness, that gap between the fluctuations of the thoughts that we have. And our mind is always fluctuating, and we're always moving into polarity, back and forth, back and forth. And yet, when we can find that 0 point of stillness, and even this practice, bringing the palms together, starts to work with the brain hemispheres connecting and balancing. So we can simply bring our palms together and it shifts our brain chemistry. It shifts how we perceive, how we feel. Our breath is another great tool at all times to come back to presence. It's the most simple tool we can use, and it's always available to us. And so it's really important that we take this time to commit. Now, this is key. This is what we require to have the grit to move through the energy of October, because October's theme is all or nothing. And if you think about the attitude of all or nothing, you're either all in and you're giving beyond what you even have. You just expand yourself and you give, right? And this does not mean all from an empty cup. This means you're giving from an overflowing abundance of energy that you have cultivated within yourself. And then the polar opposite of the all is the nothing. So this can show up as victim mentality, and it could show up as feeling like things are happening to us and always down on our luck. Nothing ever goes right. Poor me. I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this person said this to me. This person did this to me. And it's like placing blame on the outside world and allowing the outside world to dictate how we feel internally. It's essentially giving our power away when we are in victim mentality. The other way the nothing of the all or nothing shows up is lack consciousness, feeling like we don't have enough, feeling that we will never have enough, and getting into that scarcity, that there's not enough for everyone. And that is a very particular consciousness that is held within all of humanity. These are very big archetypal patterns that everyone in humanity has. And so to be aware when you start going into the victim, into the lack consciousness, and being aware of the words that we use, to say, oh, I can't afford it, or I can't do this, or I can't do that, right? And it's based on an external. And what it comes to when we get back to the all is to recognize that the universe, that our connection to our divinity is our supply for everything. It is our supply of abundance. Money is energetic. When we look at money as an aspect of abundance, because abundance comes in many forms. It comes in relationships, in opportunities. It's a feeling. It's really simply a feeling first. Feeling abundant, what does it mean to you to feel abundant? How would that feel in your body? And when you start to feel abundant, that's when everything becomes magnetically attracted to you. And a big part of feeling abundant is having gratitude. Gratitude for what is the simple things in life that are coming in everyday life, the ordinary. Finding the extraordinary within the ordinary. And this is a great practice to have daily, where we write down at least 3 things that we're grateful for. And it can either be done at the end of your day, reflecting on the day. I really like doing it at the end of the day, reflecting, and then waking up in the morning and reading that list over as we enter into the next day. And so another aspect of the radiant body, which is this 10 frequency that we have in October, is connected to our sovereignty, to our royalty. Knowing who we truly are when we are in that personal power, linked and connected to source energy, to Christ consciousness, to God, Goddess. When we are linked into that energy and we become the embodiment of that energy, we show up with courage. And there is no obstacle that will throw us off our center, because we are linked and connected in. And we know that we can do anything when we are connected with God. Now, another aspect of our energies that we're navigating through October are the goddess energy, ancestral energy, and the eclipse seasons. So we have a packed month full of energy activations. Now, Friday the 13th has been distorted through mainstream media, through when patriarchy took over, and we gave our power away. Patriarchy took over, and it's a joint effort, right? The whole world had to come into this separation in order for us to find unity again, for our souls to come here and to grow and to evolve, and for us to really lay the foundation for this new paradigm that we are now in. And so Friday the 13th is the day of the goddess. It is when we celebrate the goddess. In ancient times, this is when we came together as women and celebrated each other, and we connected in. We played the drum, we danced around the fire, we sang and chanted sacred songs, we meditated together. These practices, they're all being rebirthed at this time, and it is such a beautiful thing to come together on this day and celebrate with other women. And so Friday is the day of Venus. 13 is the day of the goddess. 13 is the number where we look at the different patterns within a woman's system. And there are 13 moon cycles within a year that link up with the moon for women. And so we have our menstrual cycles linked with the moon. And typically they can shift from new moon to full moon. So sometimes they shift. And it also represents our connection to the moon and how deep that is as well. In the yogic tradition, the sun represents the masculine, the moon represents the feminine. And so beyond this, if we look at the number 13, in Kundalini tradition, we break it down into a 4. So 13 becomes the 4, 1 plus 3. And the 4 is the neutral mind. And the neutral mind, which is our intuition, is operated only, or let's say it is accessed only when our heart is open. 4 is also the heart center, right? So we have the heart center linked to the neutral mind, which is connecting us in to our divine guidance. This becomes the 13. 13 is the feminine. And there's many more layers that we can go into, and I'll leave it here for now. The day after October 13th, we move into the new moon, and it is a solar eclipse. It is in Libra. So we have another powerful energy point coming in on that day. October 28th is going to be the full moon in Taurus, and it is a lunar eclipse. Another powerful energy alignment. October 31st, this is Samhain. It is the time where we celebrate our ancestors. It's a night for divination. It is the day where the veil between realms is thin and we have access to the spirit realm. There are so many beautiful practices that we can do on this evening. And I am so excited to be able to offer some of these practices. So I invite you, if this was of value to you and you feel like you want to connect in more, I will continue with these energy updates throughout October. I will share some practices that will benefit during the month of the 10. And please like and subscribe to my channel. If you are local to Windsor, Ontario, I will be holding a Sacred Women's Rebirthing Circle on Friday, October the 13th. And it will be in the evening, and we will be celebrating the goddess within each other and within all. We will be doing some powerful breath work, rebirthing, which can shift our consciousness so quickly in such a short amount of time. And it is going to be so powerful. So if you're interested, please reach out, send me a message, and I will share the details with you. Have a beautiful and blessed October, and remember, commitment is the key. Commit to something that is going to expand your energy, that is going to make you feel confident, to work on your physical body, your energetic body, work on the entire connection of you and your higher self. Make the commitment. Make the commitment to see when you are shifting into lack, when you are shifting into victim, and use your power of your mind to call yourself back into the present moment. Commit to yourself. This is the month to go all in. Go all in with courage on your path. And I'll see you very soon.